What if I told you that at 65, I discovered 7 scientific signs that predict your longevity after age 70 that could have extended my life by decades had I known them earlier? These aren't guesses or fads. They're evidence-based scientific health tips validated by decades of research that accurately forecast not just how long you might live, but how well you'll live in your later decades. The ancient Greek physician Hippocrates once observed, "The function of protecting and developing health must rank even above that of restoring it when it is impaired." Today, at 65, I've discovered that modern science has validated this wisdom with remarkable precision, identifying clear predictors of longevity. These 7 scientific health tips that I wish I'd known decades ago aren't just interesting data points. They are practical insights that can potentially add years to your life and life to your years. As we explore these scientific signs that predict your longevity, after age 70, consider which areas offer you the greatest opportunity for meaningful change. Each of these predictors represents a doorway to potentially extending your healthiest years, something I wish I had understood much sooner. Welcome to my channel. I'm Vernon, and today, I'm sharing what I discovered at 65. 7 scientific tips would have extended my life by decades that would have completely transformed my health journey had I known about them earlier. There's something profoundly empowering about understanding the science of longevity. Throughout history, humans have sought to unlock the secrets of a long life. Ancient healers from Hippocrates to traditional Chinese physicians carefully observed which practices led to extended vitality. And just wait until you hear sign number 5. Research shows it may be the single strongest predictor of who thrives well into their 80s and 90s. Yet most people over 65 have never been advised about its crucial importance. This one scientific tip alone could have helped me add years to my life had I implemented it earlier. At 65, I've learned that modern longevity research has now validated many ancient intuitions while adding remarkable new insights. What makes these scientific signs of longevity so valuable is that many are modifiable. Today's exploration bridges my personal experience with cutting-edge science. How can simple measurements predict our longevity? Which daily habits have the greatest impact? As we explore these 7 scientific signs that predict your longevity. After age 70, I invite you to approach them not as fatalistic predictions, but as insightful guidance for making the most of your remaining years, an opportunity I wish I had embraced much earlier. If you find these scientific tips valuable, I encourage you to subscribe to our channel and watch this video until the end. The final longevity predictor might be the most surprising one of all. It certainly was for me. Now let's begin with the first scientific sign that researchers have identified as a powerful predictor of longevity. The first scientific sign that predicts your longevity after age 70 shocked me at 65. Your walking speed. A landmark JAMA study of 34,000 plus adults found gait speed out predicts age, sex, and existing health conditions for survival. This scientific health tip echoes Hippocrates' wisdom that walking is man's best medicine. Research shows adults over 70 who walk at least 3.3 feet per second, 2.25 miles per hour, live significantly longer than slower walkers. This simple measurement reflects cardiovascular fitness, muscle strength, and nervous system function. What's encouraging? Unlike genetics, walking speed can improve at any age. When my doctor measured mine at 65, predicting fewer healthy years ahead, I committed to change. Starting with just 5 minutes of daily walking, I gradually increased distance and pace. Within months, my speed improved 15%, and my longevity outlook significantly brightened. Measure your own speed by timing a 10-foot walk. The goal isn't becoming a speed walker overnight. but making consistent improvements. Adding just 0.1 meters per second correlates with increased longevity. A simple change I wish I'd started years before 65. The second scientific sign that extends your longevity after age. 70 stunned me at 65. Your grip strength. A global Lancet study of 140,000 adults across 17 countries found grip strength predicts mortality better than even blood pressure. This scientific health tip echoes ancient Chinese medicine, which viewed hand strength as a key indicator of overall vitality. Research reveals each 5-kilogram decrease in grip strength after 70 correlates with 16% higher mortality risk. This measurement reflects overall muscle quality throughout your body, including heart and respiratory muscles. The good news? Grip strength can improve at any age through resistance training. At 65, I could barely open jars, with grip strength in the bottom quartile for my age. Using therapy putty and light dumbbells 3 times weekly, I increased my grip 25% in just 4 months. My entire body felt stronger and more stable. The practical takeaway: incorporate progressive resistance training weekly, focusing on hand and forearm strength. Even with arthritis, modified exercises can preserve this vital function. Wisdom I wish I'd received decades earlier. Have you noticed changes in your hand strength? What simple exercises have helped you maintain it? Share your experience in the comments. Your story might inspire others to strengthen this crucial longevity indicator. This next one isn't about muscles or meals, it's about the people around you and how they might be saving your life. The third scientific sign that extends your longevity. After age 70 was perhaps the most unexpected discovery I made at 65. It moves beyond the physical to the relational, your level of social connection. An exceptional 80-year Harvard study, one of the longest-running research projects in history, conclusively showed that close relationships are the strongest predictor of both happiness and longevity, more powerful than wealth, IQ, or social class. This scientific health tip validates what wise elders have always known. As Plato observed, a good friend is a connection to life, a tie to the past, a road to the future, the key to sanity in a totally insane world. At 65, I finally understand that modern longevity science has now quantified the profound health impact of this wisdom. The research specifically shows that for adults over 70, having strong social connections can increase odds of survival by up to 50% compared to those who are socially isolated. What fascinates me about this scientific sign of longevity is how it operates biologically. Strong social bonds reduce levels of inflammatory proteins, improve immune function, and lower stress hormones like cortisol. After my spouse died when I was 62, I withdrew from most social activities. My health declined rapidly, my blood pressure rose, I caught every virus going around, and I felt years older almost overnight. When my doctor actually prescribed social connection as medicine, I was skeptical. But rejoining my community choir and forming a weekly lunch group with 3 other people my age has quite literally transformed my health. My inflammatory markers have decreased, and I feel years younger. The practical wisdom from this scientific health tip is to invest in relationships with the same seriousness you'd approach financial planning or healthcare. Which connections could you deepen this week? Leave your comments. The fourth scientific sign that predicts your longevity. After age 70 is something I completely undervalued until 65: sleep quality. A landmark 22-year study following 21,000 adults found sleep duration and quality strongly predict longevity. Adults over 70 sleeping less than 6 or more than 9 hours show significantly higher mortality rates. This scientific health tip echoes Ayurvedic tradition, which considers sleep one of health's three pillars, and Seneca's insight that sleep is the food of the spirit. Sleep uniquely functions as both cause and effect of health. Poor sleep triggers inflammation and cognitive decline, while these conditions further disrupt sleep, creating a vicious cycle that accelerates aging, which I experienced firsthand. Fortunately, sleep patterns can improve at any age. For decades, I accepted poor sleep as inevitable, relying on medications that left me groggy. At 65, I implemented proper sleep hygiene, consistent bedtime, morning sunshine, cooler bedroom, 65 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 degrees Celsius, and no screens after 8 p.m. Within weeks, I slept better than I had in decades. My thinking cleared, energy improved, and joint pain diminished. What strategies have improved your sleep quality as you've aged? Share your experience in the comments. Your insights might help others with this crucial longevity predictor. The practical takeaway: prioritize sleep as seriously as diet or exercise. Simple changes can dramatically improve sleep quality even after decades of poor habits. Improvements I wish I'd made long before turning 65. The fifth scientific sign that predicts your longevity. After age 70 was my most profound discovery at 65. Your sense of purpose in life. Groundbreaking research from Rush University revealed people with high purpose were 2.4 times less likely to develop Alzheimer's. A comprehensive meta-analysis in Psychological Bulletin confirmed the purpose reduces mortality risk by 17%, regardless of age. This scientific tip validates Viktor Frankl's observation from concentration camp survival. Those who have a reason to live can bear almost any how. What's fascinating is how purpose works biologically. Having clear purpose activates brain regions associated with cognitive protection and reduces inflammatory markers linked to age-related diseases. Dr. Patricia Boyle of Rush University explains, purpose somehow provides a buffer against damage to the brain. It's protective. The purpose doesn't need to be grand. Dr. Robert Butler, founding director of the National Institute on Aging, found in his landmark studies that regular volunteer work, just 2 hours weekly, reduced mortality by nearly 44% in seniors. When I retired at 63, I lost my purpose overnight. My health declined rapidly. Blood pressure rose, energy plummeted, cognitive sharpness diminished. At 65, I began mentoring young professionals twice weekly. Within months, my doctor was astonished by my improved biomarkers, particularly reduced inflammation markers and stabilized blood pressure. What gives your life meaning now? A 90-year-old study participant shared, I volunteer at the Children's Hospital once weekly. Those few hours give meaning to my entire week. Share your purpose in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else to find their why and potentially extend their life. The sixth scientific sign that predicts your longevity. After age 70 concerns your overall nutritional pattern, a connection I misunderstood until turning 65. The groundbreaking Blue Zones research, studying regions with the highest concentration of centenarians, identified consistent nutritional patterns across longevity hotspots from Okinawa to Sardinia. This scientific health tip validates Hippocrates' ancient wisdom. Let food be thy medicine. Research shows the longest-lived people follow a plant-dominant diet, 95% plant foods, consume modest animal proteins, primarily fish, include abundant legumes, and practice natural moderation through principles like Okinawa's Hara Hachibu, eating until 80% full. What's remarkable is how these nutritional patterns influence gene expression related to inflammation, cellular repair, and metabolism. Dr. Walter Longo, director of the Longevity Institute at USC, notes, Diet can override genetic predispositions to disease and aging. For decades, I tried every diet, low fat, low carb, paleo, but nothing stuck because they were too extreme. At 65, following the Blue Zones approach, I made gradual changes. More beans and vegetables, smaller portions, occasional treats without guilt. Within months, my inflammatory markers improved dramatically. Within a year, testing showed my biological age was 7 years younger than my chronological age. Have you found certain eating patterns that make you feel better as you've aged? A 92-year-old Blue Zones resident told researchers, "I eat beans almost every day. They're my secret." Share your nutritional discoveries in the comments. The practical wisdom. Shift gradually toward longevity-promoting patterns. Even modest increases in plant consumption after 65 correlate with improved lifespan, changes I wish I'd made decades sooner. The seventh scientific sign that predicts your longevity. After age 70 is more dynamic than static, and was perhaps my most important discovery at 65. Your resilience and ability to manage stress. Groundbreaking research on telomeres, the protective caps on our chromosomes that shorten with age, reveals that chronic stress accelerates cellular aging. This scientific health tip aligns perfectly with ancient philosophical teachings. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus wrote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." At 65, I finally understood that the ancient wisdom that distinguished between events and our responses to them has now been validated at the cellular level as a crucial predictor of longevity after age 70. It's not the presence of stressors that determines their impact on longevity, but rather our physiological and psychological response to them. People who demonstrate high resilience, the ability to adapt to challenges and recover quickly, show less telomere shortening and slower biological aging compared to those with poor stress management. What's particularly encouraging about this scientific sign of longevity is that resilience isn't a fixed trait. It can be developed at any age through specific practices like mindfulness, cognitive reframing, and physiological regulation techniques. For most of my life, I responded to stress with worry, rumination, and tension. At 65, I learned about telomere research and began practicing daily meditation and deliberate stress management techniques. Within 6 months, my resting heart rate decreased, my sleep quality improved, and blood tests showed significant reductions in inflammatory markers. My doctor told me these changes could potentially add years to my life, years I might have gained had I adopted these practices decades earlier. The practical wisdom from this scientific health tip isn't about eliminating stress. That's neither possible nor desirable. Rather, it's about developing your capacity to process stress effectively so it doesn't accumulate in your mind and body. Simple practices like diaphragmatic breathing, mindfulness meditation, or cognitive reframing can significantly improve this crucial predictor of longevity. As we conclude our exploration of these 7 scientific signs that predict your longevity, after age 70, I want to emphasize that at 65, my greatest regret is not discovering them decades earlier, but my greatest comfort is knowing it's not too late to benefit from them. These signs have been validated by rigorous research, yet they also affirm wisdom traditions from across cultures and throughout history. The science of longevity doesn't negate timeless insights. It confirms and refines them with unprecedented precision. The most empowering aspect of these scientific signs of longevity is that they are largely within our sphere of influence. While genetics plays a role in how long we live, research increasingly shows that lifestyle factors account for up to 80% of health outcomes after age 70, a fact I wish I had fully appreciated much earlier in life. Of all these predictors, perhaps the most immediately actionable is predictor number 3, social connection. The research shows that strengthening your social bonds provides multiple pathways to improved health. from reducing inflammation to enhancing immune function to providing practical support during challenges. If you found value in these scientific health tips, please subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming video. I'd also deeply appreciate it if you'd share this video with someone in your life who might benefit from these evidence-based insights. Don't let them discover these scientific signs of longevity at 65 like I did. Help them benefit from this knowledge now